All right, Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. Some announcements first. 8th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference is approaching quickly. Be October 30th to November 2nd, right here in Hollywood, Florida. I have put some posts, as you'll see me reposting over and over now, as we are pretty much about 6 weeks out from the conference. So you will see probably a reposting of it and a reminder. It'll take place October 30th to November 2nd right here in Hollywood, Florida. 4-day event that kicks off on Thursday, October 30th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our opening ritual and meet and greet. Friday and Saturday, classes, workshops, and lectures from 9 to 4 p.m. And then both nights we come back on Friday and Saturday around 7:30, 8 p.m. to do a group ritual together, followed by a social dinner, kind of just hanging out, kicking it, getting some food. And then Sunday from 10 to 4 p.m., question and answer session by yours truly. You can attend live and in person or virtually. If you want to sign up, you can do that now. It is open. It's been open. You can register. Shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. For those that already have signed up and paid and you're coming in person, as I said to you in your email, as far as what you need to bring. Also, you'll get a digital itinerary the week of the conference, usually about a week to a few days before. Just know if you're coming Friday, it kicks off at 9 a.m. If you're going to be there for the meet and greet on Thursday, you need to be there 7:30 p.m. You'll get the location. It'll be sent to everybody for the meet and greet. All right, so shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com, and I'll send you information. If you're interested in a spiritual reading, I offer various different types of readings, Klipothic demonic readings, Egyptian oracle readings, sentiment workday readings, shadow work readings, which is, as I've said before, shadow work is continual. It's a great reading to do to point you in the right direction, to ensure that you are doing what you need to be doing in your ritual work, especially. As I said before, I teach people, design your ritual work first and foremost. For your needs first before your wants. The wants come when you address the needs. Trust me when I tell you. Maybe a deity reading to see what gods, and demons and spirits walk with you. Or maybe you're just interested in a spiritual consultation because you got a lot of questions about the occult or the left-hand path. If you're interested in any of the aforementioned, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. Please include in your email your full availability on a weekly basis. And please include the time zone you're in. We'll find a day and time that works for both of us. Also, if you want to sign up for classes, go to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, and go to Tier 3. Tier 3 gives you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon for Patreon members only, including a group ritual we do together at the end of the month. When you go to the Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, go to the collection section and you will see all the ongoing classes with new content being added on a regular basis. All right, that's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Also, don't forget to check out the social media pages, Primordial Chaos 9, all one word, on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 2 words on Facebook, primordialchaos.com 3 on TikTok. Go to those platforms, subscribe. That'll keep you abreast and up to date on the latest announcements, classes, events, etc. What I'm doing here at Primordial Chaos. So subscribe to those platforms. All right. Also, don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. Please don't forget to hit the hit that like button for the video, so the algorithm of the videos get out there. Make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, hit all notifications, so you get notified when I go live or upload a new video. And hopefully you get that notification. That's another story. All right, so the direct link to my podcast, my contact email address, the social media pages, the Patreon page, all those links are in the description box of this video you're watching right now. All right, you see the title. So I get an email about this a lot. So somebody reached out with an email. Baniti, I study the occult, the left-hand path, but my living situation is not conducive for me to have my own ritual space or chamber room or altar space, whatever you want to refer to it. What's my alternatives? What can I do? And, I feel frustrated about it. I even have, people I deal with in the mentorship program, or people I do readings and consultations for. So this comes up quite more often than you think. So this particular person shares a room with an individual, or shares an apartment with an individual. So, there are people in that situation who they might be sharing an apartment with. This person might still be living with family, and don't really have the privacy to set up a full altar or create a ritual space. Which, in my opinion, but and this is why I'm going to break this down in this video, in this short tutorial as best as I can. I mean, obviously, if you're in a situation where you do have the space and the privacy, I want to make that clear before I break down what I'm going to break down. Always highly recommended. When you're creating your own energy, and I believe it's the harmonization of both. You got to stamp your energy in the physical, mundane world. You're altering your magical tools or vessels or conduits or gateways to connecting you to the spirit realm, for lack of a better word. And then you also have to lay your stamp in the spirit realm. Now, in a case like this, I also have people, they'll reach out and say, well, I have privacy, but I can't keep something up permanently. Can I set up a makeshift altar, take it down and break it down as I do work? Yes, that's another alternative, right? Most definitely. If you're in a situation where maybe you do have the privacy, you don't have the space or the privacy all the time, so maybe you can't keep an altar or altars up consistently, most definitely. If you have like a folding table and you're able to, when you have that private time, to set up that makeshift altar for the ritual and then take it down, most definitely. Remember this, I just want to be clear on this. I know some people come from a good place when they ask that. I think sometimes people think like it's a rule or it's a law. Nobody's keeping score. You're not going to be penalized for it. If you can, you can. Meaning, if you can set up altars, you can. If you can't, you can't. Right? There's no spooky God keeping score to validate, if you're doing something right or you're not doing something right. It's always about your intentions, right? And if your intentions are in the right place, then you roll with that. It's not like you're working with certain deities, they're going to go, strike one, couldn't keep an altar up. So a makeshift altar is an option. Now, here's the solution to completely work around that. But I'll be honest with you. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of focus. You got to be able to have visualization skills, meditation skills, and then the art of constantly fueling your intent. And I'll explain. Creating an astral temple, right? I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this practice, and you've probably seen it, read about it in different books, etc., etc. It is the solution to all, because as I said before, the fact of the matter is the only tool you really need to work magic and be effective and successful and to get results is the power of your mind. I did a video a little while back. You got to know how to work magic any place at any time. And as I said before, that could be, I'm driving my car right now, talking to you guys, recording a video, but I've mastered the art. While I'm doing it, I'm fueling my intent for outcomes that I want, for things I'm trying to obtain, for results I'm trying to get. That never stops. That continues when I'm conscious or unconscious or in a state of sleep or in the dream realm. So you got to learn to fuel your magic, unconsciously and consciously. It took me a while to learn that art, but enhancing your mental power is going to give you the ability to do that. And creating an astral temple is one of those methodologies. One, I think it's a very important foundational one. There's many other techniques. I mean, you probably heard of mimetic sorcery, which I haven't done. I've talked about that on a couple of videos. I haven't done anything on that in the last few years. But creating an astral temple is a good solution to resolve anybody that's in a situation or a similar situation as described. Now, I'll share real briefly. The technique is simple, right? Your astral temple, you create it and you put the elements there and how you want it, in depth and in detail, colors, patterns, objects, you name it. It's a real simple process. Well, I won't say it's simple, but it's explained simply. I'm not going to say it's completely simple because it's not. I always tell people, place yourself in a silent, dark room, and then get yourself in a state, relaxed, clear mind, and then just see yourself completely encased in darkness, and then start with a small dot of light. And from that point or that dot, start in depth and detail to create your ritual space. You can create the room that it's in depth and detail, from the walls, the floors, what your altar looks like, the exact items on the altar. Create the whole imagery in detail, right? This is when you tap into your subjective consciousness. This is one of the keys to working greater black magic, is tapping into your subjective consciousness, your subjective realm, and then bringing them things into existence in your objective realm. So just start from that dot and literally build your altar from scratch, right? See your ritual tools. See the things on your altar, the color of your altar, the cloth on your altar, the floors, the walls, you name it. Be very vivid and detailed. And you can even, if maybe you had an altar up in the past and you can't keep one up now, you can even build from what you had and move forward. Now, once you have your astral temple built, or your ritual space built, right? Now you can carry out rituals just like you would in the physical mundane, but you're seeing yourself doing it literally step by step, verbatim, in your astral temple. So really all you need, let's just say you live in an environment where it's confined, you don't have the privacy, but you can find maybe points in the day or the evening or periods where you can get to a quiet place, or maybe you can, sit outside in your backyard or get somewhere. All you have to do is activate the ritual within your astral temple and actually carry out the ritual step by step, verbatim, as you would, no different, as you would if you were actually doing this at your physical altar space. Right? Now, it takes focus, it takes concentration, it takes visualization skills. So it's so important that you're doing what I like to call some of the foundational techniques like meditation, science of breath control or breathing exercises. All of those are key and foundational because it affects your focus and it affects your concentration if those things are not in alignment, right? So this comes up a lot. I know some people feel they get frustrated because, they're studying and they just don't have their space, and they want to have their own space. This happens regularly, okay? Believe me, it's a lot more common than you think. And this is what I'm sharing with you guys right now. This is one of the solutions I give people that are in the mentorship program, because the mentorship program, it entails doing, you need your ritual work and your ritual space. But I also have 2 clients, right, that been working with regularly over the last couple of years, and they started out the gate. They do have their privacy, they do have their space. They just don't work at all with physical, tangible altars. That's their choice. So I have 2 that have voluntarily chosen, and they get more results, and they feel more connected to, having an astral temple. Now, I always recommend both because, in my opinion, I think both serve a purpose. But the main thing is being effective and getting results done. The reason why I say having both, because when I'm traveling and I'm out and about, I could be on a flight going somewhere and I'm doing a ritual. Once that flight takes off, especially if you're on a night flight and they cut them lights off, it's quiet, right? You got to learn to be able to do magic any place, anytime. You can do magic out in public in broad daylight with tons of people around when you have the ability to tap in on that level. Right, and I'm a firm supporter and believer that I think an individual should know the skill and the technique to do that, because obviously there's going to be times or a situation arises where you got to be able to get some work done immediately. You're not going to always have the ability to go to your physical altar space, and do it there. Which is, look, like I said, as I mentioned to you guys many times before over the years, I love having that, that traditional ritualistic space. Man, it's great when you can, set your time and your schedule and plan your magic, and you have the ability to do it. And again, my recommendation is if you have the ability to have both, you should. okay, in my opinion. You should be a skilled magician or sorcerer to know how to work both. But the reason why I say really all you need is your mind, because keep this in mind. Your magic is only as powerful as you are. Now, how do you fuel your magic unconsciously, right? So, like I said, I'm talking to you guys right now. It's not something I can put into words, but I'm constantly fueling my magic and getting my results 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I can't put it into words. I've learned how to tap in on a mental level where I'm constantly thinking about those goals. Thoughts carry energy. So as you're placing energy on what you're trying to manifest, it becomes stronger and stronger. Now the challenge is when you go into your mundane existence to address things in your mundane life, which is just everyday shit. Could be work, it could be eating or planning your day, or just in your all day, everyday mundane matters. How do I still keep unconsciously that energy focused on the results that I'm trying to get? It's the old art of doing without doing, right? You place that thought out there, right? And you stamp or ingrain that in your subconscious mind. And what you're doing is you're constantly thinking about that. And by constantly thinking about it on an unconscious and a conscious level, you're bringing energy to it, right? And energy is what's going to manifest those results, right? It's no different, for an example, if you're carrying out a greater black magic ritual and you're using the science of visualizing it, and not just visualizing it, but in detail, creating the entire scenario and seeing it how you want it and seeing the outcome of it in depth and detail. It could be, let's just say you're going to sign a contract, or you're getting ready to buy some property for real estate. You need to see the room you're sitting in, the chairs, the people you're going to be dealing with, the colors of the room, what clothing you have on. It's got to be that vivid in detail, because the more vivid in detail it is, the more energy you're able to create. And then obviously that's going to give you high probability of manifesting your results, right? And you always have to leave that window open, because, again, don't negate the most important thing I said about a minute or so ago. Your magic is only as powerful as you are. So it doesn't matter how many books you read. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you think you have. It doesn't matter how vainglorious your ritual space is, right? All of those aesthetics cannot help you when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and it comes down to the power of your mind and your ability to perform magic or sorcery, or whatever you want to refer to it as, the dark arts, or higher frequency spiritual work, for a lack of a better word. That's all on you. And all the things you do are going to dictate, or the things you don't do, both. What you do and don't do is going to dictate how powerful your magic is. Okay? It's that simple as far as explaining it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to, it's not going to just be, snap, crackle, pop, 1, 2, 3, ABC, and you got to be able to fix it. Recognition is the first step. And after you have that recognition and awareness, then it's, what is your plan of attack? How are you going to address the situation? Okay, very important. So I don't want people who, may not have the privacy or the space to set up altars, and they get frustrated, or they don't have the privacy or space to do ritual work without being uninterrupted. I get it. And I know people too that did, and then sometimes a situation arose and they don't have their own space no more. That can be even tougher than somebody who never had their space out the gate. Not saying that that's still not frustrating, but I've seen more frustration on people maybe who had their own living space, their own privacy, and had stuff set up, and everything was flowing and functioned. And life happened, or life situation took place where maybe they were forced to move back in with family, or they maybe had, like I say, split the cost with renting an apartment or something with somebody, and now they don't have the ability to do that. So I get the frustration, but understand, look beyond that. Right? In essence, I've said from day one, this is about the power of your mind. And the higher you go up, when I say the higher you go up, I really, really mean to use the term, the more you learn and the more you grow, you're going to find out understanding the power of your mind, or the lack thereof of the power of your mind, is critical and key as far as mastering yourself on this path. And I've been saying that for years. I tell people, when you come in, what book should I start with? What book? You get the beginner books, you start reading, you start doing this and that. And it's just this constant, I want to get to this certain level, at this certain point, this, that, and the third. I've said to many people who stay the course and are on this path, you get to a point, a certain level, where a lot of this is mental, and it's the power of the mind, right? And that's why, like I said when I did that video a little while back about, the science of working magic in any place, anytime. You have to have the ability to do that. Doesn't matter if you're driving, you're out and about, you're walking, you're somewhere in public, you're flying on a plane, this, that, or the third. When it's time to go to work, activate the power of your mind, activate your astral temple that you created in your mind. And keep in mind, when you do that, you're stamping it in your subconscious, which is another hidden technique of how you're constantly fueling your intent and manifesting results. It's a whole nother story, but you get my point, hopefully. All right. So again, it's not hopeless. If you're in that situation, look, like I said to everybody, when life throws you a curveball or life throws you a brick, you understand, don't get frustrated. Just adapt and adjust and activate the power of your mind and your intellect of how you're going to get around that, or how you're going to come up with a solution, or how you're going to bring about the change you need to bring about to get the result that you're looking for. That's how you got to approach this, okay? So again, if you are one of those people in a situation where you don't have the space, maybe, or again, you just don't have that privacy to do your work, I've seen people that too. They have the space, but they just they don't have the privacy to do anything. So that can, again, it can create some frustration, and I get it, but don't get frustrated. Try creating that astral temple, and then that gives you the ability to work at anywhere, at any place, at any time, and it is a game changer once you learn how to do it. It is a game changer. Trust me when I tell you. Okay? All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to touch on. I wanted to address that email. If you have any, shows, or if you have any ideas for shows to address things on these short tutorial videos, feel free to send me an email. I'll do my best to look at it, and if it's in alignment with what I do, I'll try to do a video on it. All right. Other than that, that's going to do it for me. If you need to reach out to me for a spiritual consultation, if you're interested in booking a reading, signing up for the Patreon classes, or you want to check out the podcast, social media pages, all of those links are in the description box of this video you're watching right now. That's going to do it for me. My name is Baniti, and I'm out of here. Infernal blessings.